So, hi, I'm Emmett Loverde, and today on Glass House Reviews, I want to talk about the movie Anora, which is written and directed by Sean Baker. Um, First of all, Mikey Madison, the star of Anora, is breathtaking. In this movie, her performance is delightful. At times, it's heartbreaking. And the rest of the actors in the film were also very enjoyable. Um, so I want to get that out of the way because I have some things to say about it which are not so positive, but I will say that the actors really, did great work here. Um, I wanted to love this movie. Um, I heard the reason I went to see it was because heard so many great things about it, and so I was like, this is going to be delightful, I thought. But the script, I have many problems with the script, and I want to tell you about them. Um, First of all, let's start off. The movie was about an hour longer than it needed to be, than it had any right to be. Because based on the story they were trying to tell, it shouldn't have taken 2.5 hours almost to cover all of that. Now I'm going to give you some. There's going to be some spoilers ahead. I'm not going to get too detailed, but if someone feels very strongly like, "Don't tell me anything about the movie," I understand you might want to stop watching now. So past the warning, now we got some spoilers. First of all, the movie started off wonderfully. Anora is an exotic dancer and does a little bit of prostitution on the side, and it was a sweet kind of slightly silly story. Anora is working at her club and she meets a young Russian guy, and she speaks a little Russian, which is why they, paired up together. And she starts seeing him. He's paying her, of course, and she starts reluctantly falling in love with him. And the boy claimed to be 21. He could have been under 18. He looked very young, but that was never explored. So I have no idea where that was going. I'm wondering if that was cut out of the movie or never intended to be shown, but whatever. It was never examined whether Honora was, because she was supposed to be in her, she said 23. So anyway, Honora and her employer slash boyfriend, they go to Vegas because he wants to, and he's very rich. And he spontaneously says, "Let's get married." And so Honora agrees. And she goes full tilt into this marriage. And she's very excited about their new life together, or what she thinks it's going to be. And then the boy's very wealthy and powerful Russian family finds out about this marriage, and they send basically a henchman and a couple of goons to stop it. And so these goons show up at the Russian guy's house. I'll just call him Russian lover boy, and he runs away. No explanation. He's just out the door. So Honora's stuck in this house that's not really hers. She thinks she married the guy who owned it, but it turned out it's his parents who own it. And these two goons, and then their boss, and she has to deal with them, and they're very unpleasant. And they start to try to rough her up, which is a very ugly thing to see, very very shocking, especially given the tone of the movie up to this point had been quite funny and sweet, and suddenly we've got guys being very rough with this young woman, and they're there to break up her marriage, and then the movie just it went from being fun and charming to a Scooby Doo episode that dragged on and on. It had a goofy gang of gorillas running around New York to random restaurants, asking unpleasant people whether they'd seen Anora's husband, and of course they said no, but they didn't say no in a nice way. They said, "Get out of here," and just people. Honestly, it was about an hour straight of just people yelling at each other. And oh yeah, Nora's there. They're dragging her with them, on this escapade to find her Russian lover boy. And she's sitting there scowling and looking upset. Not being an active character, not telling us anything more about herself. Just she's just mad, and she's using a lot of rough language to tell everybody what she thinks of them, but it doesn't further her story at all. And the movie's called Anora, so why aren't we getting more of Anora's story? Anyway, what the actual fuck? This crap goes on for an hour. And, it's, have you seen this boy? No, get out of here. Don't tell me to get out of here. You get out of here. Of course, everybody's speaking broken English, and that gets old real fast. Now, I understand that a lot of people loved this movie. And as I mentioned earlier, those reviews that people were giving and are still giving, that's what got me into the theater in the first place. But I don't care how much they love this movie, thinking it's a masterpiece, etc. Ultimately, it was boring. Yes, Anora was boring. And Mikey Madison, the star of the movie, she deserved a lot better. The movie was about her. It was named after her character. And for half of the movie, Anora just stands there while other people argue about her, yell at her, order her from place to place, and work around her as if she was just a piece of furniture. And to me, that's bad writing. That's bad. To me, maybe this long, boring Madcap Scooby-Doo sequence was supposed to be funny, and occasionally it was, but it was not about Anora. It was about other, much less interesting people, people who were mostly stereotypes or clowns, or both. I could have enjoyed 15 minutes of this search for Nora's husband. That could have been funny, but an hour of it was unforgivable. And for that reason, I can't recommend this movie. This could have been a great film. God, there's a great film in there if they take a pair of scissors to it. But I don't think anybody's going to touch it because it's already been deemed to be a masterpiece. And Mikey Madison's performance was great. But anyway, the movie's much too long, so I hope I didn't bum anyone out. If you do end up seeing it, there is some worthwhile stuff in there. I just wish it had been better.